Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Okay. So... let's see. I'm gonna just stick with the strip of cloth. It's probably gonna result in that same game over, though. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh yes, at last you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather, there must have been a strong impact for it to have been left so clear. You mean it could not have been forged? It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Only so people are murmuring. Ho ho ho! You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Rhino had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? Mr. Rank, do you really know? I do. Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well, I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person whom these fingerprints belong to are... I'm gonna have to say Emma Skye. I mean, that's who it actually is. I'm gonna take a steak first, but... Emma Skye? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? Because I couldn't... Oh ho ho ho! You're really something, Rhino. You knew this girl did it all. Oh, see, this is again. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true, tragic but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. I'm not trying to pin you as the murderer. How could you? You monster. I'm not trying to pin the murder of Marshall on him. I'm trying to pin the murder of Goodman on him. Miss Skye! You knew his fingerprints those were all along. Yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Skye, it's not over yet, see. What? I said this trial isn't over yet, see. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trials, but your career, too. Because of the whole Board of England, ... You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. Yeah, you did, too. ... I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. Not if you're in prison. ... What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Technically, really, she kind of did. She's not a murderer, she's a manslaughterer. Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. See, this piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? Are we saying it's not Emma? It was Emma Skye, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. You see, what? A contradiction? See, what is this fool babbling about? I don't know. I'm talking about a contradiction, one that proves who the real killer is. Well, that's right, this piece of cloth! What can it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. Okay, so what could it be? See, what could possibly contradict the cloth. Huh. Maybe it's not actually the one that maybe the photo, perhaps it's actually the one, you know, not the same, like, if we look at them, they don't actually fit together or something. Okay, see, switchblade knife. See, that's not gonna be it. Okay, let's take a look, I think, at the, see, see. Actually, let me check the, let me check the incident files, and as well as the autopsy report. The incident files aren't anything. See. Okay, so single stab wound piercing heart and lungs. Weapon found in wound with missing tip. See. Huh. Perhaps that could actually be it. You know, that's not how he died. See, strip of cloth. See, Lena's picture. See, okay, I think I'm going to try the Lena's picture. I'm going to take a state first, and, you know, try to go the desert fit route, and then the wrong cause of death route. If neither of those fits, I'll go with the walkthrough. And what exactly is this supposed to be? See, this is a picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. Okay, so this was the right route. See where the piece of his vest is cut out? Yes! It's starting to show it underneath! It's hard to make out with all the blood in his vest, though. Oh, but there's no blood in the strip of cloth. See? Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs no doubt were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth is completely free of blood. See? Wait! There's no blood on it! Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. But not into the sword. He ended up there some other way. Okay. I think I'm at this point, see, however, see, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword. Huh. So, he was killed some other way, and then he was put on the suit of armor. Potentially with Joe Dark. I don't even know. Huh. I think at this point, it's looking like this is going on a little long. I'll probably go longer and make this too lazy. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gans, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? So, see, I see. Emma and Dark and Marshall were all unconscious. Then the next person to arrive on the scene was Chief Gant. He killed Neil Marshall. So, but he was foolish enough to cut the strip off before he actually impaled him. See? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Sky? See? Picked up the unconscious prosecutor and impaled him on the armor's sword. Then, we'll make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, so that he could control Emma. Then, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. And he broke the jar on purpose to leave behind a coup, and make Lena believe her sister did it. He broke the jar on purpose. Huh. So, why would he break the jar, though? If not to, show the... See, I guess, so he could keep only one piece? Huh. Or maybe so that it could be like he was shoved into it. But still, though, it doesn't prove it... Let's see. The thing that concerns me, though, is we're still talking about the SL9 incident and not about Goodman yet. Remember what you admitted only moments ago, that you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest. I'm saying, ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. Oh my god. It's finished. But what about Gunman? It's not yet finished, but see, someone's going to check. Probably Edgeworth, yeah. Or, wow, it was... Wow, that's an interesting way to see him. See, that was close, Ryo. You almost had me, so he is visibly sweating now. But his point is we still don't have him yet for Goodman, but I think we are about to shortly. Exclamation point. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. Yeah, I think there's all kinds of illegal evidence being thrown out in this trial. What's one more? Order! What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Well, tell that to Joe Dark's ghost. Remember, Aji? Earlier, old Ryo here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Ryo? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Excellent. ... Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be the... Or say, why am I using Edgeworth irons? Let's see. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. But that's not fair. See. Did you actually think you could best me in court? See. It looks like the last laugh's on you, son. Judge is going to say, I'm afraid Mr. Gannon's claim is legally correct. See. Well, Mr. Adros, true. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. We're gonna have to look at the rules of evidence log. Well, Mr. Wright! Doctor, we're going to fade. It seems, at last. Time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. What plan? I'm just making this shit up as I go along. Mr. Wright, you admit to it. That you purposely and illegally concealed this piece of cloth. See, let's check the court record. Let's check the 2 rules of evidence law real quick. See, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. And unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case and trial. It was relevant to the case. It was unregistered, but it was relevant. See, I'm going to actually say that I did not. I'm going to take a state first for obvious reasons, because for all I know, it might be a game over. You know, we're not, like, that's actually the first time it's actually been a game over, not just a penalty, see. Certainly I refuse to present evidence at one point, see. Aha! So the evidence is illegal. Andrew, I'm going to object. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then, it's that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. Talking about evidence, see. No, Aji, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't let him. Aji's gonna say, there is only one issue. It has to be resolved in this trial. See, is this evidence legal or not? See. Very well, let's try this once and for all. See. Alright, you refuse to present evidence. See. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. It's gonna have to be the evidence law. I'm gonna say I'll take another state, even though it's been like only like 30 seconds or something. See. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. See. What's this? See. I've done my homework too, Chief. See. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. See. However, see, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. See. What? See. You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. See. Exclamation point! See. Rule number 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. See. I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case in trial. So at that point, Edward was asked, or the judge is asking to present something that shows who actually did it. At that point, this wouldn't have shown that, because we didn't have the whole conversation about the lack of blood yet. And here is the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 instance. What kind of nonsense is this? You want a relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... I'm going to object. Sorry, but can you recall, when was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago! No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. Exclamation point. You yourself confessed to a sudden truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest, so that's what gave it relevancy. Oh, yes! Oh! It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. So I did have approval from the police department, basically. He was practically begging for it. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. And in other words, the real murderer. There's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant. The killer was you. Has he gone mad? What, I think he's gone mad.